Hey everyone, welcome to Tigers Talk. Today we're diving into the pod. My name is Anna.
And I'm Athanasia, and today we're taking a behind-the-scenes look at our podcast class.
So I'm Dean of Students, Mr. Rodriguez, and I've asked a couple of our podcast students to take it over and to share a little bit about their experience, and this is what they had to say.
So now everyone's going to introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Lex McFarlane. I run the How We Taught Mothers Gaming podcast, primarily found on YouTube, that covers different games with me and my mom sitting down, talking about it, so that she can really grasp what's going on in the gaming scope.
Hi, I'm Kaya Janelle, and my podcast is Brunch Buddies, where we talk about being a Christian teen in today's world while eating brunch.
Hi, I'm Sophia Morales, and my podcast is Laughing with Jesus, where we just react to funny situations and stories, especially in teen Christian lives.
Hi, my name is Anna. My podcast is a little bit about a lot, and just like the name, we take a little bit of everything, and we take a little deep dive into it.
I'm Athanasia Kambitzis, and my podcast is Ready Set Storytime, where I'm getting ready for the day or night and just telling some dramatic stories from my life.
Hi, I'm Nevaeh, and my podcast is called Ask Me Anything Except That, so it's basically in the name. It's a Q&A, and I basically just collect questions and answer them, and usually it's like a question that I don't want to answer to make it spicy.
My name is Lucas, and I run Interviews with Lucas, which basically I just go around interviewing teachers and getting into their more personal lives and some of my peers as well.
So now I'm going to ask all my peers a few questions, starting off with Kaya. What made you want to join podcast class?
Well, I've always loved content creation. Even when I was little, I had a channel. So I just joined this class to learn a lot more about content creation and one day have my own podcast.
I actually was the same way when I was little. I used to love doing that, like making little vlogs and videos, so like I could totally relate.
Yes,
Sophia, can you tell me what your favorite part of this class is?
Well, my personal favorite part of being in this class is just to show my creativity with all of you guys. I love being able to just express myself and not be in a place where I will be judged. And I just love being able to share my social skills and how I react after my podcast.
Yeah, for sure. I like that.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
That's an upside to the class, for sure. Nevaeh, what's something you didn't expect to learn, but then you did?
Yeah, that's a good question. So one thing that I didn't expect to learn was how complex and how complicated putting together an actual podcast was. From like starting to prepare for your podcast, getting all the information to answer those questions and just put it all together, and then like the hard part of like editing. It's a lot, but it's fun.
I can totally agree. For me, it was the marketing part of the podcast. It was like I didn't know you had to market it like purposefully. I just thought you like put it out there.
Okay, now moving on to Lex. Have you had a moment in this class where you're like really proud of yourself?
I'd say just getting videos out. I've always loved watching YouTube videos ever since I was a kid. Like late nights I would just go on sprees of different rabbit holes of 15 or so minute videos, and it was really fun, and I was always like, I want to do this in the future. I love this kind of environment, so I would like to put myself in it. And this class really helped me because now I've got like a purpose for it. Not just for like getting the grade, but just being able to put out content. And I've even put out content outside of the podcast that was really fun, and I was able to hang out with my friends and family to do a lot of cool stuff.
That's really nice. I think having fun is a big part of making your podcast.
Yeah.
And it's a really cool and interesting like career path if you want to do that.
Thank you.
Now we're moving on to Lucas. What was the biggest challenge in filming your podcast?
Probably the work balance. We had car time, obviously, for our classes and big projects to do while also having to balance this class. So it kind of just, that taking both at a time was pretty hard, and that was probably my biggest challenge going into this class.
Yeah, the workload from all the other classes piling up and having to film a podcast can get really overwhelming. So now I'm going to ask this question to everybody. If you could make a podcast on anything, what would it be?
I guess my answer would just be the podcast that I made. I love gaming, I love videos, and I love just letting people know like what's going on. People are usually, there's a very big group of like parents or guardians that are, I don't want to say oblivious, but like kind of misunderstanding of what's going on with like the media in the current times. So by putting out this podcast and talking with my mom about what's going on in like the game and like the surrounding gaming environment and things like that, it was really, I saw it not only as a really fun experience between me and my mom, but like a fun experience to just show people what's going on. Delve
Right.
into one of the things that I've enjoyed since I could say a word, honestly.
Right. Sometimes there's a lot of stigma around video games and,
Yeah.
and devices in general. And so I think what your podcast has a huge benefit for a lot of listeners and watchers is understanding how it can be a way of bringing families together. It can be a way of even helping us communicate in a way that we've never done before with each other. And so what I enjoyed about your podcast is that I saw the fun that you and your mom had, and there's a lot of families like that. There's a need more than ever for family-friendly podcasts. You know, there is a lot of podcasts that are out there in the world that are not family-friendly. They're not good for all audiences. And so what I appreciated so much about your podcast is that it created just this space for conversation while you're playing a game. It created bonding. It created, it tapped into some of the things that you're passionate about with video games, you know, and you became an expert. You became an expert in that area of you showed your expertise and things that maybe we didn't even know as we watched as a class, right, guys? Mm-hmm. We watched the Minecraft, and also because the movie came out, and so now we're seeing a lot of these video games that are being made into movies, and so the podcast, I think, highlighted a lot of the reasons why, and the fun factor. Again, more than anything, it's just the fun factor behind the games, and I felt like your podcast really hit home on all of those different elements. So I enjoyed it a lot.
Thank you.
So now we're gonna move on to Kaya.
So I would have to agree with you, Lex. I would say the podcast that I have right now is what I would pick because it's just me and my friend, and we're talking about being a Christian teen in today's world, and we're giving each other tips, and we're also giving the people that are watching tips. And it's so chill because it's just like we're having a conversation while also helping others, and like we're just eating brunch, and it's just like we're hanging out, and it feels so natural to do, but we're like doing it for a podcast. So I'd have to say that.
Yeah, when we were watching your podcast, it really looked like a chill and like natural vibe coming from it. It was really
Definitely.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really enjoyable. I like to feel like you're part of the group. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to Sophia.
Well, again, I think I would have to agree with Lex and Kaya. My podcast is just my ideal podcast. I think that would be what I would want to make. I love giving tips to just teen girls who are struggling and they don't know who to lean on. I love to be that person who you can just lean on. I wish just good luck for every girl, and I think that would be why I just love my podcast. It's so ideal for me.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to have like teen girls like get like a biblical like Christian advice. Yeah. Kaya?
Yeah, so piggybacking off of like what everyone else said, I pretty much love my podcast for what it is. Getting questions from other people and just like seeing what they want to know about me, it really just helps me to be able to inspire other people with like what I have to say about those different topics. And yeah.
Now Lucas?
I would do something with sports. I'm pretty passionate about sports. Probably something to do with my friends, but mostly me just, going over stuff in sports. There's a lot of podcasts out there that I like that interest me. And I think I'd have I have pretty good knowledge in sports, so I think it'd work for me.
So it was really nice hearing everybody's answers. Everyone was talking about like their creativity and like goals that they have for their podcast, and it was just really nice hearing from everybody.
Before we wrap up, I would just like to thank everyone for being here, for just being part of the class, sticking around, working really hard on your podcast, because they were really enjoyable to watch every single one. I want to thank the dean for giving us this opportunity, because if it wasn't for like your idea for making this class, we wouldn't have this big creative opportunity to be who we are through content creation. And that's about it. Thanks for tuning in to Tigers Talk. Until next time, keep talking, Tigers.